Hey there. We are doing, might not sound like it, but we're doing better than we were yesterday. Um, Slept well. Suffice it to say, pretty sure the worst is back in the rear view at this point. But the cold is not helping anything. That's for sure. But anyway, before I get too far into it, this is Star Wars Galaxy Heroes Day by Day, in case you're wondering. I shot a video probably trying to think of when it was that I talked about Thanksgiving. And by the grace of God, you're never going to see that video because it just this is also the reason I do this is obviously I didn't get sick. I didn't plan on getting sick, but I am sick. Hopefully, also by the grace of God, I'll have some time to get some videos uploaded and stuff today. But I've been up here since 8 o'clock, and I've just been inundated by watching stuff because I'm just like, oh, information. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, I'll probably end up talking about it because I can't help but talk about stuff like that sometimes. But suffice it to say, I don't remember what I did that day when I talked about Thanksgiving, but like I said, by the grace of God, you'll never see that. But Thanksgiving is coming, or has probably came, and if I wouldn't have gotten sick, you would probably already seen this video. And maybe I'll just do the impromptu, hey, this is the Thanksgiving episode. Uh, Scheduled for Tuesday or Wednesday, which at this point is like 2 days away. But Thanksgiving is an important day. It's weird. It's weird. How many people think, like, I was watching this video a little bit ago from this guy who's from South New Jersey, and he moved to London, and he's been living in England for 12 years. And he was in Chicago to meet up with this British guy who also has YouTube, who has been in the States here for 16 years. And they were just going back and forth. They were talking about holidays. And they were talking about Thanksgiving. And they were saying how great it was that, you could get there with family, you just eat, and that's all it is. And maybe it's my perspective, but I've never really seen it that way. Because the way we have our family situation now is my in-laws live just around the corner from us, but they're out in the Midwest right now. I mean, they're out in Arizona. What was that? Don't tell me. There's not some cheat code to this thing. When I just ripped off all those and I got 2 Kairos? Seriously? But, yeah. See what I'm saying? Someone tell me this doesn't work. But they usually live around, they live around the corner. And they're on. They left a couple, like 10 days ago or so, for California, Arizona, and they go out there because my wife's brother lives in Arizona. My brother-in-law lives in Arizona. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law and whatever live in Arizona. And so my in-laws went out there to do Thanksgiving with that. And previously, back when my wife's grandparents were alive, we always had Thanksgiving with them, and it was just sort of eat, maybe watch football, not a whole lot. But um I don't know how to talk about this because for me I don't get wrapped up in the commercialization of Christmas. There is a very big part of Christmas that's commercialized. Don't deny that. But when that's all you can think of about when that's all that Christmas represents is commercialization, of course that's what you're going to think of. But to my in-laws will be here on, they will be back in time for Christmas. And they will either come over to our house or we will go over to their house and we will have Christmas here or there. And we will, open presents or whatever and go over there and have whatever type of food. But Thanksgiving is a time when we should be together with family. I get that. But it's also a time to, I don't want to say force, but almost kind of force you to reflect. And what I've come to the point where I do is out of the thankfulness that I have for what God has done for me, is I inevitably, for the past 10 years or so, I will come up with a resolution. Not unlike New Year's resolutions. But New Year's resolutions always seem so shallow. And so what I like to do with these Thanksgiving resolutions is I like to take and think about the abundance of what we've been given. Like, what has God done for me this past year? And I like to think about, okay, in lieu of what God has done for us this year, what do we feel like God is calling us to do in the next year? And I was talking about it, and I was talking about how I was looking forward to going to church, and because, they were singing this song, and this song led me to this other song. And because I'm still recovering from my sickness, I didn't end up going to church today. But there's a song called Here Again, and it talks about, it starts out, here I am, out here in the middle. And it basically talks, even though I'm out here in the middle, will you meet with me again? Will you meet me here in the middle? In the middle, basically in the valley. From, highs, and I'm in the valley. And that's the middle. Will you meet me in the middle? Will you meet me here again? And it's a phenomenal song. And it's just, I wish songs like that got more play than they do. And it's, will you meet me here again? And I was listening to this song at work Tuesday, and I made it, and then I was thinking about it, and then the next song that came on my whatever music was the song called We Make Space. And this song We Make Space is just, it's deep. And it talks about we make space because there's all this clutter in our life. There's all this junk in our life. And because we have all this clutter, we want to make space. We want to get rid of all this clutter to make space for what you're doing in our life or what you're preparing to do in our life. We don't know what that is, but we know that there's something there that you want to do. And that's where we need to be to. That's where we need to get to. We need to make space to be with you here again. And so I texted, as soon as I connected that dot, I texted our pastor, and he didn't get back to me because this week's just been chaotic for them. Because apparently they had a huge funeral, and they were just like, had way too much. They just, our church is smaller than this funeral was prepared for. And, but we just need to make sure as we're getting ready to go into Thanksgiving that we are making space for whatever God has for us next. Because there's a lot of good that can come out of situations when you allow stuff to happen. I mean, or you can just always just be afraid of everything. But I don't know why you would want to be afraid of everything. Because being afraid of everything doesn't get you anywhere. Even in the town where we live, for whatever reason, we have a store going out of business. And we are not a big town, city, whatever you want to call us. But they're getting ready to put in a new gym here. And we already have a CrossFit place. We have another place. We have a rec center, which is essentially a YMCA. Only it's a city gym thing that's operated by the city. And then we have, I don't know, an Anytime Fitness, and then we have all this stuff. But yet, guess who's about to roll in? A big national chain gym. I'm sure just in time for the new year. Because, people always do that. And I always ask myself, why? Why do people always do that? New Year's resolution. When was the last time you kept a New Year's resolution? And what were the stakes of you keeping the New Year's resolution? With my Thanksgiving resolution, I have a stake. I have a want to meet with God, meet with Jesus, because He provides everything that I have, everything that I need. And so I'm going to take the time to meet with Him. And because I have an interest in that, I need to make sure that I follow through with it. But for whatever reason, people make this stuff of January 1st, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to do whatever. Why? Why do you need to wait until January 1st? Yeah, I know there's a holidays, and there's going to be a whole lot of pie and whatever floating around. What if instead of a gym membership, you just had one less piece of pie? Or just had one less Christmas cookie? One less whatever, gingerbread cookie. What if you just had one less? What if you just said, I'm good? And you just filled up on actual food. Like, I'm talking about Turkey Day, Thanksgiving. What if you just got together with your family? If you just thought about, okay, what do I need to improve upon based upon what God has done for me? And then you went and you had your lunch or your dinner with your family. You sat around and you actually engaged with your family, with your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your nieces and your nephews, your aunt, your whoever. Even if there's somebody there that you doesn't agree with you politically or doesn't agree with you philosophically or mentally or emotionally or spiritually or financially or whatever. But you put yourself out there. And then you watch the football. And then you came home. You watched, you played your game, and you really took time out of your day, and you reflected on what you thought going into the day, what you did during the day, and then your takeaway that you're going to implement going forward. And then as we get closer to cookies, you maybe you didn't watch so much TV. I talked about there's this service that I was watching the other day when I was sick. I didn't watch it today because I didn't quite feel so ill. But um, actually, it was yesterday. Called Pluto TV, and I found a show on there that was a classic comedy, and then I was watching it. I'm not saying that there's no Black Friday commercials on there. I'm just saying there's less. Or maybe if you got one, if you have like the paid Disney Plus subscription or the paid, whatever where you don't get ads. Maybe if you just did that, or maybe if you just did this radical thing of, or you have a movie that you bought a physical copy of on a DVD or a Blu-ray, and you just put out the Blu-ray player and you just watch that. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a series. It could be Game of Thrones or whatever. You just watch that instead. You just didn't let everything that you've been told to focus on, Black Friday, all the commercialization. What if you just didn't focus on that instead? You just focused on the reason for the season. Thanking God for the family He gave you. Thanking God for what He did for you. Thanking God that He sent His Son to save you regardless of whether you believe it or not. Celebrating the friends and family that He gave you. Maybe, maybe not. Having one less Christmas cookie so you don't have to get a gym membership or you don't feel like you need to. What if you just be like, nah, I'm good. Maybe you'd be happier instead. I hope you do well. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I hope you get something out of this. If not, I give it a bash. Anyway, thanks for being here. Talk to you tomorrow. Till then, hold the line. I'll see you then. Bye.